Hello and welcome to today's webinar. I'm really excited to be able to share with you the new look Purple Mash 2021. I'm currently showing you what you'll be used to seeing and interacting with now, which is our current Purple Mash interface. This will soon be referred to as our old version because we've now launched the new look Purple Mash. It's important to note that at the moment, the new look Purple Mash is only accessible to teachers and admin members of staff. On the 17th of May, it will be available and accessible to all users, so pupils will be able to access it as well and have a look. A few things to just go through before we explore, and I show you the new layout and the new look, is that between now and the 17th of May, it's for teachers and admin members. You, of course, can, have this on your interactive board in your classroom, and you could be sharing it with the children to give them a bit of a forewarning and just to get them used to how the system will be looking. From the 17th of May to the end of the academic year, you as a school will be able to view it either in the current system, as we see here, or in the new look. If you're an admin user at your school, then you will have the ability to decide when the whole school will move across to the new look. There will be a button on your featured panel for admin users only to be able to allow you to make that change permanent. If you just want to be dipping your toe in the water between now and then, and you just kind of want to flip between the two, you're entirely welcome to do that as often as you like between now and the end of this academic year. In September 2021, all schools will be moved over to the new look. However, you will also see the button to be able to switch back if you want to. But by default, when you log in, you will see the new look Purple Mash. So without further ado, I'm going to access it like you can by clicking on the featured button on the home screen. I should try and maybe involve a drum roll feature here if I can. I'm just going to click on it, and then ta-da, I'm in the new version. As you can see here, it looks different. It looks bright and engaging. As you can see, the layout is different, but we've still retained some of the core features. So I'm going to be working my way through the home screen. Essentially, the one thing to bear in mind is that all the content within Purple Mash, all of the activities, the games, the resources we have are all exactly the same. The key difference here is we've just kind of given it a fresh look. We've made it look really engaging and inviting. And as you can see, there's more than one way now that the children can personalise it. So this is my home screen. I'm on as a teacher. Children will be able to see a really similar view, just without the teachers and data buttons along the top. At present, until the 17th of May, if I do impersonate a pupil, it will be in the current version of Purple Mash, the soon-to-be old version. So for today, I'm just going to show you from your perspective as a teacher. So you can see along the top, we've got our main sections, very similar to how we had in the other version. We've got our tools and games, but now we've broken down our early years resources can be found within this section, and we've pulled together all our reading resources in here. But just to give it a logical flow, I'm going to start from the top and I'm going to work my way down. Okay, so firstly, you'll notice the to-dos. They always used to be red, they're now orange. But if I click on it, you still have the same function of what you've always been able to do. You can look through your resources, you can preview any to-dos that you've set, you can edit the details, you can close them, you can view the folder and view report. It's just the icons and graphics have slightly been updated and modernised, but you'll still be able to do all the things that you would be able to do previously. What's quite helpful, and probably the most helpful feature for you as teachers, is that we've now subdivided the to-dos. If your to-dos were constantly being a long stream that you had to scroll up and down through to find which one the children are currently working on, now we've divided them into two clear sections. The first one that says to-do is the ones that are currently active, so ones that are due in today or due in the future. So the ones that children still have a chance to do more work on. Then any closed to-do, any to-dos that have expired their deadline, so they would have been green in the version that we've just been looking at in our old version, you'll find them here. So these ended previously. Okay, so the children can no longer do any work on it, but you can still access the work, mark it, comment on it, and so on. A really useful feature as well, lots of people wanted to order the dates of their to-dos. So now, both within your active and your expired to-dos, you can click on the drop-down menu and select them in date order, ascending or descending. Now, I've not got many here, but in my active to-dos, if I sort them into the date descending, then these are the ones that have got the farthest due date assigned to them. If I sort it ascending, they're the ones that are going to meet their deadline the quickest. Now you might notice as well that the option to multiple select we still have, it's on the left hand side here. If you want to select all in one go, you can quite easily just click on the white square option and it will select all of them, and you can close them all together like you could previously. Just like before, you've got a little pop-up box and you can choose whether you want to close them or delete them. You can also, like our new feature we've recently rolled out, you can set a brand new to-do from within the to-do area as well. So you can create it just like you can in the other version. As you'll notice, the icons have just slightly changed. So we have the little microphone icon added on to the red circle, and we also have the white triangle added onto the play button. Okay, so within to-dos, if I just open a to-do that I've got active at the moment, let me just see, some of these to-dos don't have much work in there. Let me have a look if there's anything in here. There we go. Just like before, you will see that you can either view it in a table view or you can flip between that and the icon view. So just like previously, you can click on the work, you can comment, you can audio feedback, you can easily multiple comment by holding down Control, clicking on it and commenting on more than one, or rewarding more than one piece of work at a time. So similar layout and features that you previously had access to is still there within the to-do section. Okay, now looking at the work folder at the top of the screen, you'll notice it's now green. It's changed color as well. But just like the theme, everything's still the same. It just looks a little bit more sleek and slick and modern. So we've got access to all of the different files and resources that you've saved into your work folder. If you click on them, you can find the file information. You might also want to look at it in a table view as well. It's up to you. You can choose as to how you view it. You can access any subfolders by clicking on the little arrow next to each folder. And just like before, you can easily drag and drop files into different folders and either move and copy if you wish. If you want to be able to add a folder, you can click on the plus icon, and I might just put a folder here called Demo. So now within my work folder, we've got a demo subfolder that I might just want to drag and drop some things. I'm going to move it into there. So now within that subfolder, I've got the file that I've moved. Okay, so you've got that same functionality that you had in the previous version. Also, we have these little, I believe they're a kebab button, which you click on, and you can also have options to create new, delete, rename, or move work as well. If you want to upload any additional resources into your Purple Mash account, you can click on the upload icon. So this has slightly changed the graphic. Click on that and you'll see the same pop-up appear that you did previously. What's quite useful though is I do like how all of the pop-ups that we've got within the new version, they can be moved around if you do need to refer to any information behind you on the screen. So all of these pop-ups have the ability to be clicked on and moved. So I can click on the browse your computer area and I can have a look at a particular resource that I want to include. Click on it and it'll upload it just like before. Okay. My additional options that I can use within the work area to try and keep it less cluttered, they've been hidden behind another kebab button. So if I click on here, I can move the files that have been selected. I can open them to mark them. I can set a tag for them or provide comments, set judgments, give them rewards, view the report of the particular activity. If it's able to be printed, I can click on the print button. I can share it to the Purple Mash resource sharing area. I can push it to a display board, delete it, or inspect it. So all of the other resources that you could have had access to in the current version, you still have access here. And you can skip through the different files that you've got by clicking the next and previous button. Okay, so lots of flexibility in how you manage your files and your work, both for yourself and for any classes that you belong to. So just as usual, you can click on the children's folders. You can see any done to-dos as well. Okay. So the data tab, very much like the work area, it does exactly what it says on the tin like it did before, but we've just made it a little bit more modern looking, kept the colours consistent. We've now got purple icons and buttons to click through, and I can access the different to-dos that I've got here. I can have a look at the scores for particular activities like quizzes and games, just like I could previously, and I can view judgments that have been given in particular subjects. For example, my year 2s, if I want to look at them, just like I could in the current version, I can look at my class 2s here. Okay, and at the bottom, if I want to check rewards, I can click on that and pull up all the data for the rewards that the children have been given on Purple Mash. So very similar to what we currently have on the other version, just much more modern and sleek. Now the sharing icon itself has changed. This is what used to be the globe icon, the green globe icon. This is where we'll find the access to display boards and shared blogs. So here, just like before, I've got access to all the different display boards I belong to, and I can click on the settings tab to access the settings area. Okay. Well, you might have noticed there as well when I clicked, if I show you the blogs area now, if I want to return, we still have our nodding and shaking heads, but now we've got the green for yes, the red for no as well. So just another layer of helping children to be able to choose which one they want to do. So yeah, navigation through the sharing tab button on the top is just as it was before. Now the teachers area, it is different. This is definitely had a lot of thought and consideration paid to it. If I click on the teachers button now, you'll see that instead of having to scroll continuously down through the big wealth of resources, we've divided it into clear sections. So the first one here is the planning area. So you can find scheme of work for computing, SPAG resources, subject leader toolkits and so on, and all of the links to the resources that you most commonly need to help you plan for your terms and your years. You can then access the curriculum maps by clicking on the curriculum maps tab. We've got the curriculum maps for early years. We've got for national curriculum in England, Key Stages 1 and 2, in Wales, in Scotland, in Northern Ireland. And if you're using the NCCE or the Switched On Computing, you can find the curriculum maps to that, as well as the OAK curriculum. The professional development area, if you're looking to further support your school or any colleagues with some CPD, you can access our training platform, which is our 24/7 CPD area. You can dip in and out of there as often as you like. And one thing to bear in mind is if you have any colleagues who haven't been able to attend today's webinar, you might want to point in the direction of the training platform, because the Getting Started area will include the new look Purple Mash features. Okay, so that's something to note if you've got some colleagues who might want to make use of that. If you want to be able to book any CPD or training, if you want to attend any future webinars or the inclusive MASH chats that are part of your subscription, you can click on those links as well. And we also have access to the teacher blog, which you can find particularly useful. The parents section of the teachers area is now available on this tab. You've got access to the welcome letter, the parent blog, and the parent and home support area. So all of the most helpful one-page handouts with the most common FAQs that parents quite often want to find out about. And then finally, the other section, we've got our terms, data protection agreement and GDPR statement. And if you're interested in our PE and wellbeing software Striver, you can click on there to find out more. And we've got our feature panel here, now that we're in the teachers area, has been streamlined for some quick links to get you accessing bookings for webinars or MASH chats if you wish. Okay. Right, moving further along the top row, we have our search bar, and you can quite quickly and easily type in any keywords or subject areas. So if I put something like coding, then I can find all my coding resources in one place for me to be able to access and see if I can use them. If you want to filter out the search results, you can select the filter icon and you say, well, actually, I just want to look at years 5 and 6 coding, and it's further filtered those results. So quite a nice, easy, accessible way to quickly find the resources that you want to look for. The notification bell, it works just like it did before. It will jingle, it will show you a numerical value as to how many alerts you have not seen or are waiting for you. And if you click on the bell, you can see those ones that are new or have not been acknowledged, and you can remove ones that maybe you've already actioned or you're aware of. Now, this bit here, this is where the previous admin cog icon, you'll find all of those resources and settings hidden behind your name at the top of the screen. So just like before, you'll find your avatar is in the top right hand corner next to your name. But this time, if you click on the down arrow, disregard this is just a setting for my account, but here is where we can access support. So I can click on the start tour. I've got the option, mainly useful for people who are brand new users for Purple Mash, but it guides them through all the different icons and steps within the system. I'm just going to click don't show that again and click off. Also within the support area, if you've got any technical issues that you need to discuss with a member of our support team, you can click on there to access it nice and directly. If you need to find some answers to some of the most probably common FAQs, then click on the online support area and you're taken through to our help section here. If I go back into the support area, we've got links to all our help videos. Especially useful if you're new to Purple Mash. It just gives you a nice orientation of where you can find things and how you can do the most basic elements within Purple Mash. Click on the down arrow again, back into support. You can also access the CPD training links as well if you wish. So if I click on that, it comes up with looking to find out more or to book a session. Now in the settings area, this is that kind of admin cog section. So you can find and change details for your account by clicking on your My Account button, and you can make relevant changes there if you wish. If I go back again, this is where I can find and print pupil login details. If I've got new users or it's September and I want to be able to print out the user details just like previously, click on the class name or further expand the folder to find the names of all the pupils. I'm not sure where my pupils have gone, but they should appear any moment. And I can either generate the login cards or the letter to parents, and I can populate that data into an Excel spreadsheet if I wish. Back in the settings area, it used to be called Create and Manage Users. It's now called Manage Users. This is where you can go in there to set up groups. If you're an admin user, you can get access here to run an MIS sync or to add any new pupils or staff members. Bear in mind that until the 17th of May, if you do click on the Manage Users and then exit it, you might be reverted back to the older version and then manually would need to click through again. So this is just something that we're working on getting further refined. Also in the settings area, the login shortcuts, you can find your school's quick login links for Minimash and Purple Mash here. If you haven't used them previously, they're an excellent tool to get children accessing the system with one click. It really alleviates the stress at the beginning of a lesson, especially for the younger users. So by all means, that information is still there. It's just accessed from behind your name now. Now, if you want to customize your school portal, change the logo, change any of the the wording, you can click on that. If you are an admin user, you can access your e-safety settings, making sure that it's linked to your school's policy on online safety. You can make any changes and then click Save. And this is quite an important one that sometimes used to be slightly out of view in the old version, but the school timetable is what the to-dos feeds into. If you are setting any to-dos that are to be done at home time or during school hours, if I click on it, then hopefully any moment think my computer's just being a little bit slow. There we go. At any moment, then your timetable comes in. So this is where you can drag the bars to correctly show the hours that your school has. So here, this is where the computer would read, if I've selected a task to be done just during school hours, then on a Monday, if I click save, then my Purple Mash account knows that the children would only be able to access it between the hours of 8 and 3:30. Okay, so you can drag and move that and slide it to make it as specific to your school's timetable as you can. Just remember to click save. And it's also helpful that if you are ever extracting any data within the data section and you want to view work done during school hours, again, that will filter into your school timetable. So the settings, the support area, the Impersonate Pupil works just like it did previously. I won't show you today purely because it takes you back into the old version for now, but by the 17th, you will be able to impersonate a pupil and see it from their viewpoint. Right, now for the bit that I get really excited about, it's the option to be able to change the background and edit the background of either your own or the children's Purple Mash account. So everyone has access to this. The children can click on their own name and select edit background from their drop down menu when that becomes available. And when you click on that, you'll see a lovely, bright, engaging library of different backgrounds to choose from. So you can select different themes or topics. For example, if you're doing about the Great Fire of London, the Romans, if you're doing about maybe space as well, some lovely themed backgrounds, but also just some nice, bright, engaging colours that might just reflect the child's mood or what particularly interests them within Purple Mash or in the wider world. So the backgrounds can be changed and updated and edited at any time, and you can press OK and it will be an instant update. You cannot have like a blanket change for all pupils. It's a nice idea, but the aim being for the children to be able to reflect their own personalities, then children are allowed to change the backgrounds themselves. And the option to be able to upload your own picture for the background comes with it lots of issues with things pixelating. So the backgrounds that can be selected from can be found within the edit background area. I'm sure you'll agree, it really makes it nice and bright, engaging. I think especially for the older children as well, it just gives them that slightly more, grown-up vibe as well that they could select from. Now, just like before, you can edit your avatar as well. Click on the Edit Avatar button, and then you can use the Avatar Builder to create your own one. And also, if you want to log out, you find the option from the drop-down menu. Okay. So in a nutshell, that's the top part of the screen. And then we'll move down to these like egg-shaped sections we've got along the top. So starting on the left-hand side, the Early Years button. Instead of calling it Mini Mash now, we've got Early Years. So when I click on it, I can access Mini Mash by clicking on the icon, just like I could in the old version. And when I'm on as a teacher, I see these additional buttons as well. So I can use these buttons to change the settings for my particular class or year group. Now, one thing to bear in mind here that's quite a nice change, especially for staff who have maybe Key Stage 2 or older children, is you can choose whether or not the Mini Mash and Early Years section is shown on the home screen. If you don't want it shown because maybe you are a teacher of a Key Stage 2 class, then you can choose on the option where it says Show Mini Mash and Early Years, click No and Save. And from their login, when they come to log into Purple Mash, they will only see 3 sections at the top of their screen. Okay. For you as a teacher, you will always see the 4, so you have that option to be able to switch it on and off. Okay, but I think that's quite a useful one just to make it a little bit more age appropriate. You might also just want to change the settings for an individual. You might still want one particular child in the class to be able to access it, so the rest of her class can't see it, but I want for Freya to turn it on. I can click yes, click save, and Freya can see it. Okay, so I think that's quite a really useful tool to be able to make it tailor-made for the age and stage of your children. And then we have access to different tools that you might want to use within the Early Years Foundation stage. So quite nicely compartmentalised all the resources that you might want to use if you are in reception or nursery or early years. The tools in the game section are just like the kind of work and data section above. They're exactly the same layout, functionality. We've just updated our icons to reflect our logo, but you'll find things in exactly the same place. So we've got our English and maths data handling at the top, coding, communicating and sharing further down, followed by art and design and quiz and game creation. And then we've got our knowledge and understanding of the world and music and sound section. So just like before, you can click on it and you can access the different resources. You can click launch and set to do just like before. Games as well, click on that, exactly the same content we have here. It's just made to look a little bit more modern and bright and engaging. So we've got our maths games at the top, text toolkit, grammar games, logo activities and simple city resources as well. So you can click on an area, click on a resource and set it as a to-do or launch it. Okay. And then the final section on the top is our reading. So really nicely, we've tucked all our reading resources into this area. So you can access Serial Mash if you're a Serial Mash subscriber by clicking on here. You can find book-related tools, so like book review resources with our 2Connects or character reviews. And then really handily, because they were tucked away before, we've got our reading journals ready for you to access. So autumn, spring and summer for Key Stage 1 and then the same for Key Stage 2. So nice, easy way to locate it. Then we've got our authors and poets activities and resources that can be found, and then links to our book reviews and writing projects. And right down at the bottom, we've got book-themed quizzes and a 3 Bears quiz that you might want to make use of. Okay, so I think the reading area is a really nice pocket of resources, all kind of, ring fence in one area for the children to explore, either at their leisure or for you as a teacher to be able to find and set resources as a to-do. Okay, so now the bottom part of the screen, you'll notice our feature panel is on the left now. And just like before, you can scroll up and down through the different relevant feature panel that we've got. At the moment, you can switch back. If you click switch back to the previous version, we just quite value your feedback as to the reasons why. So if you've got some advice for us as to what you liked or what you might like to see, then do pop a note in there. But you can switch back and forth as often as you like. And then here we've got the main body of our home page. We can browse the subjects of Mini-Mash quite easily by scrolling across. It might be that I want to look at languages, let's say, click on a particular language and I can access the resources from within here. Just like any app within Purple Mash, I can click on it, I can have a play, I can set it as to do. Okay, so just a nice streamlined way of finding the right curriculum area. If you want to view all the subjects in one go, you can click See All, and we've got them all there in one place to view. And then at the bottom here, you can browse topics. If you remember the topics button on the old home screen, when you clicked on it, you were met with a huge barrage of different topics that did seem a little bit overwhelming at first. So now we've alphabetized these and you can scroll across to find the relevant topic you would like to find. Or alternatively, again, you can click See All and you'll be able to view it all in one place. You can find a particular topic you're doing and access the different resources that you might want to make use of there. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our webinar. We've gone through all the different areas of the new look Purple Mash. Hopefully you've enjoyed that introduction, just showing you that essentially everything works and the content is there as it previously was. It just looks much more modern, bright and engaging for both children and teachers. As you can tell, our designers and developers have spent a long time making sure this is the best it can be. You should hopefully find as well that the way that it has been designed will work especially well across all devices on all different screen sizes. So hopefully that should allow engagement from children and teachers both at home and at school. I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Thank you very much for attending. Enjoy the new look Purple Mash and enjoy mashing in general. Thank you very much.